It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 o'clock in New York City. Hello, everybody. I am the Mad Dog. She is a pit bull. This is What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. Again and again and again. She keeps coming back. You hear me every night praying, why is she coming back? How do you get in here?
I have my ways. I have my secret hiding spot back there.
Pain in the ass is what you are. How you do? Oh, listen, congratulations on a serious note.
Thank you.
Congratulations. She went to work today, folks. So that she finally, the guys kicked her out of the house. She went back to work. I'll bet Joseph and your husband, Jeffrey, are happy to have you out.
No, I'm happy to be out after 3 months out of work.
Well, it's been a little while. What is going on with your background there, girl?
I don't know. We're having some real bad thunderstorms
here.
Yeah,
don't move.
After 3 months out of work. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can actually. I really can believe it. It's crazy, man. You got hired. And I said something before about that too. Mm-hmm. I said, you're going to get a job when you least expect it. Remember? Yeah. I told you that. And they hired you on the spot and wanted you to start. They wanted you to start then.
Yeah, they did.
So you started the next day.
Yes, because I had to get like a check stub, something like that, or like not a check stub, but like a blank check, so they could get for my direct deposit and a letter stating that that's my bank or something to that effect. So I told them, I said, well, let me go ahead and get all of that done, and let me get either that or a letter from my bank. And they said, yeah, that's fine. And we'll do they had me do the paperwork because it's a little bit of paperwork. Still had to do a background check and things like that. And I said, that's fine. Go ahead, do what you got to do. And I'll bring everything with me that you need and everything. And they said, yeah, that's fine. And then today we just went over what I'm going to be using, things like that, as far as computer wise.
All right. Well, okay then. This is good.
Yeah.
So do you like it? Are you happy?
I love it. Oh, yes. I'm very happy.
Guess who's here?
Oh, hello.
Guess who's here? My old buddy, Geri Jewell, is here. How are you, Geri? Welcome to What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast.
Well, thank you. Good to see you. It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. The last time I saw Geri Jewell, she was sitting across from me at a diner. We were having breakfast together in New Jersey.
Yep,
that was a long time ago.
She's my new buddy, though. She's coming.
Yes. Let me tell everybody about our amazing guest tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And this is old home week for me. Geri Jewell is a trailblazing stand-up comedian who made her comedy store debut in 1978, and the face of comedy hasn't been the same since. Her move to network television on NBC's The Facts of Life saw Geri break further in uncharted ground as TV's first regular cast member with cerebral palsy. She was later offered a key role at David Milch's Deadwood, one of my favorites, and we talked about that. One of my favorites, for which she won critical acclaim as Jewel, the maid at Al Swearengen's Gem Saloon. Geri is also a staunch advocate for people with disabilities and is a highly sought-after motivational speaker. And tonight we will talk about the next in a series of books. Her first book, I'm Walking as Straight as I Can. We'll show you that book right there. I'm Walking as Straight as I Can. Met critical acclaim, and she hit us again with another one. I love the title of this one. This is called Geri's Jewels and Gems. I love that title. What an amazing title. And I got to ask you, Geri, where did the title for that come from?
Well, the publisher, Dr. Randall Bell, he suggested Geri's Jewels. And I said, no, that sounds like a sex book. And he said, well, that's the point. Then you'll sell more books. I said, nope. But I will call it Geri's Jewels and Gems. And okay, I like that.
I love it. I heard a little buzz about this book. My understanding is that it's kind of like a potpourri, a collection of sorts of various stories, like show business stories, some anecdotes, some photos. Um, and is that kind of the case of this book? Is it a little bit of everything in here?
It's a collection of columns that I had written for Ability Magazine for several years.
Oh, okay. Fabulous.
And the editor, Chet Cooper, gave me permission to do a coffee table book. I asked him if I could use the columns, and he said yes, as long as you give us credit. And of course, I'm going to give Ability Magazine credit. It's a great magazine.
Oh, sure.
And you can still subscribe to it online. And
yeah,
the reason I wanted to call it Geri's Jewels and Gems is because the jewels are the columns and the gems are the pictures.
Well, let's talk about that. There are a wide assortment of photos in this book. My understanding, again, is that you handpicked all the pictures.
I did.
What did you look for, Geri, when you were? And I'm sure you have a personal criteria that you look for. But what do you particularly look for? Is it something to tell a story, to add to a story?
Well, initially that was my goal, to have a photo with each column. But when you're working with a publisher, they do what they want to do with the photos.
Yeah.
So they're just in there. Like, there's one photo of my sister Gloria, and I wanted it next to the story Hope and Glory. You know, Gloria.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted a picture of Bob Hope and me, and Gloria.
I love it. See, Geri's got a really twisted sense of humor.
I love it.
And we shared that early on in our relationship. There's I think it's fair to say we had a relationship of sorts. We were friends. And
book. Yeah, the first book.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. Like, people like, how did you get to know? What happened?
She says, "Oh no."
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We are going to talk about it because I got something planned for you, girlfriend.
No.
What I want to do right now is introduce you, Geri, to my co-host. This is Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. So, Amelia,
hello.
Say hi to Geri Jewell.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you.
The mad dog and the pitbull. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a dog pound over here. We're all fucking goofy. Go ahead, Amelia. Questions for Geri. I'm sure.
He made me that way. First of all, you are a jewel and a gem. First of all, they say that meeting your idols could be a good and a bad thing, because you don't really know how it would be to meet your idol. And I see that you did meet Carol Burnett. How was that experience for you? Did that experience make you get into comedy?
Well, interestingly, I started a pen pal relationship with her when I was about 12 or 13. And she wrote me back almost every single letter I ever wrote her. And she told me, I told her that when I grew up, I wanted to be a comedian like her. And she said, get into acting in every capacity. She told me never to quit. There's no guarantee that you'll become professional, but there's no guarantees in life, period. The important thing is to put out the effort and to try.
Yes.
I met her for the first time in I think it was 74. I was like 16, something like that. And I had ordered tickets to her show. And to make a long story very short, I got a front row seat, and Remember, she used to raise the house lights and accept questions from the audience. And I was so excited. I said, wow, I get to talk to Carol Burnett. She didn't call on me.
Oh, no.
And the show started filming, and I kept complaining to my friends that were with me, I can't believe she didn't call on me. And they were telling me, would you shut up and watch?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It was the amazing show with her wearing the curtains on her
Oh,
shoulders.
yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my, that was classic.
Yes.
And I was in the front row. And I guess Harvey Korman was cracking up so bad by Tim Conway, they had to take a break. And
Yeah.
when they took a break, I go right back to my friends. I can't believe she didn't.
Oh my God, that was a classic bit.
And Audrey said to me, well, you better think of what you're going to say to her because she's coming right over here. Oh, she is not. Yes, she is. Oh, stop it.
Well, Geri, let's talk about this. You know,
Wait a second.
you and I.
Angela, let me finish this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Let her finish. I want to hear this.
She came over to me. She extended her hand. She said, hi, I'm Carol Burnett. You must be Geri Jewell. And my friend was shocked that she said my name. And I said, yeah, I am. How did you know that? Oh, just a lucky guess. And I said, Carol, can you do one little favor for me? You know, she's trying to film a show. She said, what is it? And I said, well, you see, I wrote a paper on you for my English class, and I brought it with me tonight. And if you sign it, I'll get a better grade.
Oh shit! Oh damn!
And she signed it. I still have it.
Wow.
That's
A.
crazy.
That's fantastic.
That's so funny.
I love it.
Can I ask you a question? I have a question for you.
I love her. I love her.
It's well known Carol was your idol and in many ways a mentor to you. Your style of comedy is very different from her style of comedy, particularly because you did stand up and she never did. Who were the people, Geri, that you watched when you were younger coming up in the biz? People in stand-up comedy or comedians that you respected or liked? Who are the people that inspired your brand of comedy?
Carol Burnett.
Yeah, Carol Burnett.
Okay.
She's the only one. Yeah, I did my research.
I really had no desire to be a stand-up comic. I wanted to be a comedic actress. The only reason I went that route was because it was a door open to me and I took it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you patterned yourself after Carol completely.
Completely. That's why.
Yeah.
Wow, that's remarkable. Yeah. Now I know that several years back, at Carol's the book launch for Carol's book, you were there and she signed a copy for you. I believe because I have a picture of it where she's sitting behind the table and you're handing her a book. I actually have a picture of that. And I'm going to see if I can get it up here. But was that at? I'm trying to remember because we still knew each other at the time.
Wait, was it your book or was it my book?
I think it was her book. Yeah.
Yes, it was her book, and I did go, and she did sign it for me.
Okay, now let's talk about that. Amelia brought up something critical because, in fact, we just talked about this. Meeting your idols. I met one of my heroes, and it turned out to be extraordinarily disappointing. When
Was it me?
No, it was,
No.
believe it or not, it was Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player.
Oh, how's that?
And no, you were a gem. You're still a gem to me.
Yes.
Kidding? I would call you a jewel, but I'll get in trouble. Oh shit! Anyway,
Well, I'll call her a jewel for both of us. How's that?
When the conversation that you had with Carol at that book signing, was that the first time that you face to face with her?
I probably, maybe, yeah, it could have been.
Okay.
I bumped into it several times over the years. So
Yeah.
I can't remember precisely, but I do remember in 1996. Yeah, 1996, she was doing a play in Orange County, and I went to see her, and I went backstage, and she was so excited to see me, vice versa. And I told her, I said, Carol, I want you to know that, you're the reason I'm a success. I mean, you wrote all those letters back to me and inspired me to keep going.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget what she said. She had tears in her eyes.
Aww.
She said, Geri, she said, you would have been a success whether I wrote the letters or not. Give credit.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yes.
When you hear something like that, besides the personal reward that you feel, do you take that as motivation to continue with other things, or do you have to share that knowledge with others? What is your preferred method of choice there?
I guess in some ways, some people idolize me the way I idolize Carol Burnett, and I remember what she said always, and I remind people what she reminded me. Give credit where credit is due. You could have done this on your own. That was really powerful.
Yeah. Remarkable.
Yes.
One of the things that, and I have to tell you, you made me cry twice in my life. And this is the first time, and I'm being straight up serious.
Aww.
You made me cry twice in my life. The first time was when I saw you and Brad Dourif dancing on Deadwood.
Oh.
That was, oh my God. You want to talk about rip my heart out? Please. Waterworks, baby.
Aww.
Right? Because believe it or not, I'm not a tough guy. I'm really kind of like sentimental and like emotional. I'm Italian. How can I not be, right? And the second time was when you and I lost touch with each other, because it was right at the time that your sister Gloria passed away, and you were inconsolable at that time. And you remember that. I remember as well. That was a rough time for you.
That was 7 years ago.
Yeah, it sure was. I remember. I remember it.
It was probably the most difficult thing I've ever had to deal with in my entire life.
Yeah. How did you finally get over it, Geri?
I never got over it.
You don't get over that.
No. You know what? Can I tell you something? I understand that I lost my father recently, 2 years ago. Okay. And it's every day. But you'll understand this. Every day you want to pick up the phone and call. Every day you want to talk. You want to say something. So you find yourself having these conversations with your your invisible buddy or and of course I do that. I'll literally sit here in my studio and talk to myself.
Or something that
I'm
was attached
talking to the people. I lost my sister, my father, and my dogs, both dogs, within a 5-year period of each other. Right?
Oh, that's a lot.
And it was a lot in that time, but it taught me that resilience is only as strong as you're willing to be. If you're willing to be strong and resilient, there's no end to that. Because some people fall apart, they crumble. You did not. You did not. But what you did do was you found other ways to channel your grief. So share that with everybody, please, if you would.
Well, I went to see you at the Cancer Center in 2016, and I bought a bunch of gifts in a bag. And out of all the gifts that she got, the one that she loved the most was a monkey. It was a stuffed monkey, and she loved that monkey. And I said, "What are you gonna name it?" And she said, "I'll tell you when the monkey tells me." I don't know. The monkey's got to tell me what it's okay. And about a week later, I called her on the phone. Does monkey have a name yet?
Oh, Jesus.
Will you be patient? Called her the next day, and she said, "Okay, monkey has a name." It's Buck. Buck.
Buck. That's hilarious. That's funny stuff.
Is it after Kathy Buckley? And she said, "Monkey hasn't met Kathy Buckley." No.
We are up against a hard break, Geri. We will be back in 1 minute and 7 seconds. Take a look at this.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got a ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
and become your own boss,
build it on Shopify.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. What's the Buzz Popcast is live and around the world. Tonight, our special guest, Geri Jewell. She is an actress, activist, and author. She is a one hell of a storyteller. I love this woman. It's been a long time since I've seen her. And I found out that Harlan was representing you, I said, get her, bring her here.
And it's my pleasure to meet her.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, look.
Oh, there's the monkey. Oh, I love it. Look at that little bugger.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Buck is he's gonna be famous one day.
I love that. She's not a fucking monkey buck. I love
You ought to write a book about him.
Buck,
That's
the name.
funny. Geri, how'd you get involved doing activism work?
How did I do? I that just came naturally. I mean, I have a disability and I can speak and I can educate and influence, and I got into it early on, and then I honed it. My ex-husband actually had a lot to do with teaching me how to do that kind of work.
Beautiful.
And I give credit where credit is due.
Wow, that's remarkable. I always wonder what motivates people to do activism work. Oftentimes it's something personal. Very often it's something that like an injustice or a wrong that's been done to someone else that prompts people into action. The fact that you had a public forum available to you must have been a huge benefit. And people like Advocate magazine, or Disability magazine, and oh God, what else? There's what, Amelia? What's that other one we were talking about before, you and I?
Let's see, what was that one? Disability activism.
It was called. It was like a disability magazine, but it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was called Handicapable.
Yes.
Handicapable. Because I don't like the word handicap.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe in handicap. There's no handicap.
Well, I have my handicap, right?
Oh, Jesus. Get used to it, Amelia. This is
I just love her so much. I love her so much.
Well, I'll tell
up,
you an interesting story about that. When I was on Deadwood, I was asked to speak at the Department of Defense by their Human Resource Department. And the head of Department of Defense never comes to these events, I was told, but he came to mine because he loved Deadwood.
Wow.
And he said he was really curious as to what I was going to do. But really didn't have the confidence that I was going to do, as well as Human Resource said I would. And he came up to me afterwards and he said, "I'm impressed. Wow." And he brought me into his office and he gave me a medal. And I asked him, I said, "Can you please write my boss, David Milch, a letter and tell him how you appreciate my appearance, because he gave me this time off from Deadwood to come."
That's beautiful.
I just love it.
Yeah, Geri, you and I never really talked about that. How did Deadwood come to you? Under what circumstances did that happen?
In 1999, I broke my neck from C1 to C7.
Oh, dear God.
And I had neck surgery. And I honestly did not think that I would ever have a career after that. I was a wheelchair user for about a year. I had to learn how to make this body, which the brain still has CP, to function with a titanium neck, which is almost nearly impossible. I mean, I get 3 vials of Botox in my neck and shoulders every 3 months for chronic pain.
Wow.
Because my brain keeps wanting to move my head all over the place, and my neck is going, "No, stop that. I can't do that anymore. I'm titanium." So I went up to LA one morning and I was in horrendous pain. I couldn't even get dressed properly. I went to the pharmacy to pick up the Botox to deliver it to the doctor. And I looked really bad that morning, and I wore my pajamas with a little jacket over it because I couldn't even get dressed properly. I couldn't even button a button because my arms hurt so bad. And I thought, oh, don't worry about it. It's 8:30 in the morning. Nobody's going to recognize you. So I'm standing in line, and this man turns around and he goes, oh my God, Geri Jewell. I didn't even want to admit I was who I was.
Oh my
Because
God.
I look like shit, you know?
Oh my
He
God.
said, I love you. I followed your career. You've inspired me. You've made me laugh. And I said, well, thank you, sir. He said, but I haven't seen you on TV in a long time. What are you doing with your life now? I said, Botox.
I love it.
No,
Oh my God.
what are you doing? And I said, seriously, that's what I'm doing.
That's hilarious.
Do you want a television series? I said, wait a minute. This is a pharmacy. And it's not nice to play with someone's mind in a pharmacy.
You're making him
Oh,
joke. That's funny. I love it.
Oh my
But
God.
he said, in case you don't recognize me, my name is David Milch.
Mm.
I said, the producer of NYPD Blue? He said, yes. And I said, well, Mr. Milch, I'm flattered that you're a fan of mine and that you love my work and you want to work with me, but let's get real. I would make a real shitty cop.
Oh, damn.
He said, no, I just signed a contract last week with HBO. I'm doing a new series on HBO called Deadwood. It's a Western. You want to do a Western? And I looked up as far as my titanium neck would let me.
Oh my God.
I said, God, you have a quirky sense of humor. I mean, I'm standing here with cerebral palsy and chronic pain, depending on Botox, and David Milch wants me to ride a horse.
Oh God. Oh God.
He
That
laughed and he asked the pharmacist for a sheet of paper, and she gave him a prescription pad for an antidepressant.
Oh, you can't make this shit up.
I love her.
And he wrote his phone number and told me to call him. And I was the first character that was cast on Deadwood even before Ian McShane.
Wow.
Isn't that remarkable? Now that I knew, because you and I talked about that at some point, but I never knew how it came to you. I knew that you were the first one cast because you and I actually spoke about that from time to time. But who was it David that had this vision of what your character was, or did you even know at that time? Did he give you like a heads up?
Well, he took me to, we met at Paramount with all the writers at a meeting, and he walked me to my car. And he said the oddest thing to me after he was walking to my car. He said, okay, I want you to forget about everything we talked about, everything the writers suggested, everything I suggested. And I thought, oh my God, I blew it. I thought, boy, that was a quick series. He said,
oh, damn.
I want you to write the backstory of how you perceive the character.
Wow.
I want to know
Wow.
what is in your heart, what is in your mind, what makes you think. And it gives
Wow.
a bunch of books to read about Deadwood in the 1800s and be educated, learn about what you're getting into. And I wrote, I think, 28 pages of backstory, and I
Wow.
faxed it to him. He called me 30 minutes later, and he said, "This is David." And I said, "Well, hi, David." And he goes, "I got your backstory. You're a brilliant writer." And I said, "Gosh, thank you." I mean, coming from David Milch, who went to Harvard, and
Right.
you know, a brilliant man himself, telling me that I was a good writer was like, oh my God. He said, "I like 98% of what you wrote." And I said, "Well, what 2% did you not like?"
I knew she was going to say that.
And he said, "I don't like the name you gave her." What's wrong with Crazy Kate?
Really? He didn't like the name.
No, I'm
No.
gonna name her Jewel. And the minute he said that, I'm going, oh my God, it's back to life all over again. I'm Cousin Geri. I'm back to life, and now I'm Jewel on Deadwood. So I've always felt that if I let Hollywood know what my middle name is, I'll work again.
Oh, gee.
Keep that a secret.
Go ahead, Amelia. Questions for Geri.
If you had not gotten into acting or being a comedian, what other line of work would you have been in?
What you mean?
Like counseling, or do you see yourself in that kind of work? Or because I see you as a counselor to help people.
It's interesting because I was a psychology major for about a year, and I was a theater arts major for 2 years. But I gave up theater and decided to be a psychologist. And I was in an advanced psychology class with Dr. Jerry Hershey, and he was kind of counseling me at the time also. And we were in his office one day, and he said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I get the feeling like you really don't want to do this." And I said, "Well, I don't, but I have to because state rehab is paying for my education, and they're not too keen on me being a theater arts major, so I thought I'd be a psychology major instead and figure out why I wanted to be a theater arts major." And he said, "Well, let me tell you a secret. I was a theater arts major at UCLA. I studied with Estelle Harmon, and who was in my class? Carol Burnett and James Dean." And I said, "James Dean and Carol Burnett were in your class?"
It's all meant to be a full circle that you were.
Absolutely.
He said, "Yep. And the reason I didn't become an actor, Geri, was because I didn't think I had what it took. So I quit and became a clinical psychologist and a teacher instead. You are only young once. Go for it. Give it a shot. Just don't tell your parents what I said. Drop out of school and go move to Hollywood." And I did.
Well, let's talk about. I want to pick up right there, Geri. I want to pick up right there. You said something interesting, and I want to have a conversation about it. Facts of Life was groundbreaking for me, but if you remember, after Facts, you didn't see me very much because it was kind of like the same old thing. We already did an affliction story. That's what I became known for: my disability and not my ability. I had to ride that wave. I chose to take that route. I saw myself as making a conscious choice, aware of what the disability card was, and I thought in time I would overcome it. I just didn't realize it would take me 30 years to do that. So let's talk about that. There are a number of people, and I know a couple here in this state, actors, stand-ups, and even in one case, a dancer, believe it or not, true, who are waiting for that moment, that here I am moment. What was the here I am moment for you? And do you now know with your experience if there's a way to expedite that quote unquote disability card? How do you do that?
You don't make the disabilities. In other words, cerebral palsy is just a part of who I am. It isn't the whole. And I'm a writer even before I'm an actress or a comedian. I've always been a writer. My mom was shocked that I went into comedy. She thought for sure I would be a professional writer. You've been writing since you were 8 years old. I mean, I wrote 2 plays when I was 13, put one on. I wrote for my high school newspaper. So, and I love writing. And that's kind of what keeps me going. And the other training that I've done over the years in disability, diversity, LGBTQ training, just was a part of my spiritual responsibility that I came into the world to make a difference. And that's what carries me.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo. Now, I'm sure you have words of wisdom and advice for people. What do you tell a young person with perhaps a disability who doesn't feel like that their shot is coming quick enough?
I usually tell them to hang on. You'll know intuitively when to walk away, and to always try. Also, you can't go in to show business with the goal to become wealthy or famous, because you'll be really disappointed.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
And there's a lot of rejection in Hollywood. You have to learn how to balance that. I've had a lot of successes, granted, there's no question. I'm very grateful. But I've also had a lot of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And the rejection is sometimes what kills a lot of people because it's so painful. But I have it balanced, like you said, I have a resilience. And truthfully, when I came into the world, I had a very traumatic birth. And I was born at 6 months. And back in the 50s, they didn't believe that preemies should be touched by a human being.
Right.
So I was put into an incubator for the first 3 months of my life with no human contact. Now, you think about that. You have a traumatic birth, you come into this world, and you're put into a glass box. I mean, thank God my last name was Jewell, because that's what I felt like. I was a piece of jewelry that people were looking at. But what kept me alive? How could I have lived in that environment?
Sure.
I believe that spiritually there were angels and God supporting me the whole time. And that is where I learned my initial survival skills, truthfully.
No question about that. It's really, really, it's heartening. It's very heartening to hear you say this thing. It's uplifting as well. I hear Amelia and I over here we're from time to time we're laughing our asses off because you can take a situation, any situation, and invoke humor into it,
Yes.
which is not, and really, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
How do you do that? And is it cathartic? Is it like a therapy thing? Walk me through, like how one laughs. You're kind of self-deprecating in a way. You laugh at yourself first, and then everybody else joins. I've seen that myself in person, folks. And let me tell you something. She's fucking hilarious.
She's beautiful.
She's funny. She's really fun. So how do you do that?
Well, if you remember, Carol Burnett is that way also. I mean, she still has an incredible sense of humor about herself. But I also think I got the skill from my family. My family nuts, believe me. My whole family had a sense of humor. I can remember an aunt and uncle came to visit us, and my mom asked my aunt if she was hungry, and she said, "Yeah, but I'm on a diet. Give me something really light." So my mother bought her a plate with a light bulb on it.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so funny.
Go ahead, Amelia.
I mean, I think, I look at you and you're talking. I don't even see that you have cerebral palsy. I just look at you as somebody talking and laughing and making us laugh.
Exactly.
I don't see that.
Thank you.
Huh? I see that.
And you have to have a sense of humor about yourself. Yes. You really do. I have to, trust me.
What keeps you motivated, Geri? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going? The belief that I have a purpose to fulfill.
Yes.
And I have to keep on. It's not easy. Sometimes I want to quit. I'm dealing with a lot of age issues now with CP that doctors are seeing for the first time with the baby boomers, because before us, people with cerebral palsy were not employed. They rarely moved out of their parents' house. Sometimes they were institutionalized. So they didn't beat up their bodies the way we did. When I had neck surgery in '99, the surgeon said to my sister Gloria, he said, "If I didn't know that your sister was 43 years old and I opened her up, I would have thought she was an 80-year-old woman by her bones and her joints and her muscles."
Wow.
So now I'm dealing with all kinds of physical issues that have really, worn me down, have aged me. I've had to crawl to the bathroom sometimes because I can't walk. I'm having an MRI on Thursday because they're trying to find out why I'm in so much pain in my lower back and my left leg and my foot. And so these are things that are happening to seniors with CP. I mean, I know a lot of seniors with CP, and it's the same deal. You met my friend Josie. Remember Josie?
I remember her well. Yes, sure.
Okay, she needed to go to a doctor. She was having a lot of leg pain. And the only doctor that she could find that specialized in CP was a pediatric doctor in New York City.
Yeah.
And she called me and she said, from the waiting room, she said, "Geri, I'm the only person in the waiting room who's over 4 years old." And they don't teach. Doctors are learning through the baby boomers about CP and aging. This was not an issue before.
Yeah. We should tell people, though, one of the reasons for this is it's quite prevalent, Cerebral palsy is quite prevalent in infants and easily detectable in infants now with our technology. But the problem lies in the older generation, over 30, over 40, 50, and 60, so on. Sadly, adults are still going to pediatricians for help. If technology, Geri, advanced to the level where options were available, would you volunteer to participate in a experimental procedure or the medicine or whatever the case may be?
What I would love to give a shot at is stem cells, because
Yes,
there's a lot of answers there. But you know, who can afford that? I can't afford that.
Yeah, it's very, very expensive. Let me tell everybody, and I want to get this off of here first. Geri Jewell is a staunch advocate for the rights and expressions of people with disabilities and is a highly sought after motivational speaker. If you wish to book Geri for an event, corporate, private, public, whatever the case may be, she is available for speaking engagements, motivational talks, and various events by contacting the Harlan Bowl Agency at harlan@bhbpr.com. Harlan Bowl is the guy. He will take care of everything related to Geri Jewell. Shout out to my friend Harlan. Geri, after the show is over, stay with me for 1 minute after the show. Can you do that?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Amelia, what's coming up? Tell everybody what's coming up.
We actually have our new show that it's not new anymore, but we have It's Bullshit tomorrow with the boys.
Yeah.
Rico
we actually have
Steve.
a show here, Geri, called That's Bullshit.
They talk about anything and everything, get it off their chest.
And it's ridiculously popular.
Yes.
Really. We have it's crazy. We have 13 million subscribers to our radio feed around the world. I'm not Amelia, please tell me if I'm BSing, please.
No, you're not lying.
I'm not even bullshitting.
He's not bullshitting.
Angela.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm going to talk to you about something.
You know why? Because he likes to pick on me. That's why.
I pick on you because it's easy.
Yeah, see?
Oh, Lord. So, yeah, there you go. That's Bullshit with Ricky and Stretch. They are tomorrow. I have to do this. Geri Jewell, you are a gem and a jewel. We love you here. You have, you've always had a very special place in my heart. You never left that place, lady. I got news for you.
And especially with me as an actress.
And the next time you come to New Jersey, we're going to sit down and have coffee and pancakes again.
And you're a welcome guest.
I remember.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
On behalf of Geri Jewell and Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog. We will see you, God willing, in the creek don't rise tomorrow night with That's Bullshit with Rico and Stretch. God bless everybody. Take care. We'll see you.
He loves that name.